What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are bringing SmackDown Chestnaught with a somewhat triple fighter team in a sense. Poliwrath, Escavalier with counter there, and Chestnaught. It's going to be a fun video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, getting into the first battle here. We have Poliwrath on the lead versus Giratina altered. Not a good matchup for us. We're going to go ahead and swap right away. And they bring in a Talonflame. Ladies and gentlemen, battlers of all ages, this is the little trick that we did to completely flip the mid game. As Talonflames, why wouldn't they want to come into a Chestnaught, a grass fighting type that typically does not run SmackDown? We completely flip this game around. So we smack down the Talonflame there. We're going to go ahead and go for Energy Balls now versus Giratina Altered. It's going to be resisted, not do too much damage, but any damage will be welcome, as Chestnaught right here is able to completely destroy the Talonflame and now chunk the Giratina Altered. This was the most satisfying set of battles I've had in a long time. Because we had Poliwrath on the lead, water type, they automatically, the battlers couldn't bring in Talonflame quick enough in these sets, which was awesome. So we let the Chestnaught go down right there. We're going to go ahead and bring in Escavalier now, as it's going to be resisting the Dragon Breaths because of that steel typing. So we're just going to go ahead and go for a drill run now. We don't know what that final Pokemon is going to be, but obviously they're kind of concerned as they are deciding to stay in and shield. So I'm going to go ahead and swap right away, and they actually swap into the Walrein. So this is going to be a good battle. One thing that I did find in today's sets is if you can get rid of the one counter to fighters, this team does really well. So overall, pretty fun sets today. Walrein obviously going to have a tough time against Poliwrath. Earthquake is the only thing that does neutral damage here, and honestly Poliwrath can tank it, and Mudshot energy gain is incredible, and they do decide to surrender. So good battle, very well played. Okay, moving into the next one. We have Poliwrath on the lead versus Obstagoon. Again, Obstagoon has nowhere to go on this team, so we are looking very good. We're going to go ahead and stay in here on the lead, and we're just going to throw the Dynamic Punch right away. This will one-shot if they decide to no-shield, and they don't. Boom! One-shots the Obstagoon. We see Giratina come in, so we're going to swap into Chestnaught, and the Talonflame comes right in, and they realize what is happening, and they decided to surrender. So that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. But this was the strategy I brought today, everyone. Swapping in the Chestnaught to bait out the Talonflame and absolutely destroy it with Smackdown. Alright, moving to the next one, we got Machamp on the lead. So typically with Machamps, right, there's gonna be anti-flyers, anti-charmers in the back. So I'm thinking stuff like maybe Lapras, maybe Melmetal, stuff like that, right, with a Machamp lead. So with our backline, we're actually looking incredibly strong. Even if we lose lead right here, things are looking good. So we're just gonna go ahead and go for the Scalds. It does land for neutral damage, and we get the attack debuff, which is huge now for us because we can survive this next Cross Chop. Typically, depending on IVs, we would essentially go down with the extra 2 counters right there, but this time we survived. So we're going to be able to get this next Scald off, and things are looking very good. We're either going to get Switch or get a Shield. So we do get the Shield. That's fine by me. We will come in now with our Escavalier and basically try to farm down with counter. We're going to go ahead and give up a shield right here. I don't want to get hit with a rock slide. Actually, no, I decided to no shield that. It was just a cross chop. If they do get to another charge move, I'll shield that one. But we're looking good. We have 2-to-1 shields right here, and they decide to bring in Lapras. So, like I said, there are so many backline anti-flyers in the back, basically stuff to counter Talonflame, that my backline does really well. We're going to go ahead and swap as well into Chestnaught to get ahead on energy, just in case there was a Talonflame in the back. I mean, granted, they would have brought it into Escavalier, but we're also going to go ahead and shield right here. I wasn't keeping track. I thought maybe that was 6 Ice Shards for Ice Beam. We're just going to go ahead and just load up on energy and now just go for the Energy Ball right here. There's no reason to go for Superpower and debuff ourselves, as, you know, Energy Ball still does super effective damage. So we take out the Lapras, and sure enough, there is a Melmetal in the back. So that's going to be a good battle. They're going to go ahead and go for the charge move. I think this is actually going to be superpower, which it is. We hang on right there, and we will be able to get to our own superpower in time. So this is a debuffed Melmetal because of their from superpower, and boom, does an incredible amount of damage, and we will be able to smack down and win the game. So Good battle, very well played. This was by far, again, I said at the beginning, one of the most satisfying sets of battles that I've done in a long time, because the strategy worked out. I drew out the Talonflame when I needed to, and I countered the team otherwise, basically. So we do see Obstagoon now on the lead again, similar to before, but they decide to swap into Giratina Altered. So this is where things are tough. I'm going to go ahead and build up and try to catch the charge move now on Escavalier. I wanted to catch the Dragon Claw, if that's what they're throwing, which they are, because it is resisted. Now, if Giratina Altered has Shadow Sneak, they'll be throwing that next. Plus, I wanted to have energy loaded on Poliwrath, because I'm most likely going to be losing this switch right here. So Shadow Sneaks are now coming through, which is why, again, a good catch on Dragon Claw right there for the resisted damage. But we got to go for drill runs now, do as much damage as we can. We will be losing this mid game right here. There's no way I can actually flip this, and they got a bit greedy as well, which means I am able to get to another drill run. So things are still looking okay. We still have our Chestnaught, and they let that go through as well. So it was a CMP tie, actually, so this is perfect. Chestnaught can come in and farm down with Smackdown. That's very ideal now for us. They decide to undercharge, so I'm going to go ahead and swap into the Chestnaught, and we force out the Obstagoon now. The reason why I swapped out is I did not want them to farm down my Escavalier to load up on energy. So we're going to go ahead and let the Night Slash go through. It is resisted right there. I think they're trying to fish for the boost, but we're just going to build up on energy and go for double superpower here. Cross chop as well. We can easily survive. Doesn't do too much damage. So now we have two superpowers. We're going to go ahead and throw them. Force those shields. One shot the Obstagoon. Either way, it's looking good, and they let it through. Boom! Obstagoon goes down, and the last Pokemon is going to be a Walrein. So, yeah. Things are looking very good. Remember, we still have our Poliwrath with a Dynamic Punch loaded, so we do get a shield there. With Superpower, we're going to swap right away into Poliwrath as Switch Clock is back up, clearing our debuffs on Chestnaught and having that Dynamic Punch to nearly one-shot the Walrein. This is looking good. We still have two shields as well. We still have Escavalier. We still have Chestnaught. So things are looking good. They go for Icicle Spear, though. I was trying to stop the Earthquake right there, and Giratina Alter does come in, so we're just going to go ahead and go for Scald now. This is going to be resisted, but hopefully it does enough chip damage to finish it off, and I actually think it will. So we will go ahead, and I believe I decide to let this go. I want to stop the Earthquake. That's the biggest charge move left in the game. If I can get to a Scald right here, which I can't, so again, still going to let it go. Earthquake is the thing I need to be worried about. Dragon Claw, yes, it hurts, but we're just going to go ahead and load up. I decided to swap into Escavalier to try to catch the next charge move, as I wasn't sure how much energy they had. But I can come in with Chestnaught now and throw the Smackdown. And I think I saw I have a superpower. So I'm going to go ahead and shield and close this game out with Chestnaught. Yeah, I do have the superpower ready. So this will force them to throw energy, the Icicle Spear. But since they're unshielded, we have the superpower ready to go. And that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. So able to really dance that one. But yeah, this team, a lot of fun. All right, moving to the next one, we got Poliwrath versus Machamp again. So, still a tough lead matchup, but we are reading the same thing as before with anti-flyers basically in the back, so our backline's looking strong. We just want to get ourselves shield or switch advantage if we can, depending on how they play this. So, we're just going to go ahead and go for the Scald. If we don't get the debuff, things get kind of dicey. So let's see. It lands and no debuff right there. So let's see if we can actually get to another Scald. But I decided to go for a Dynamic Punch, and I got the Mud Shot through. So I actually think Cross Chop, I can survive this. So I'm going to no-shield it, and sure enough, I survive with 1 HP, and I'm able to get off the Dynamic Punch right here. I should have gone for Scald, just in case to apply the debuff, but we take out the Machamp. That's fine by me. They bring in Cresselia, which is perfect, as we have Escavalier now, as Mega Horn does an incredible amount of damage versus the Cresselia, and we don't know what that final Pokemon is, but hopefully the Chestnaught has a good matchup against it. So Moonblast right here, not too much damage. We're sitting in the driver's seat right now, and they decide to swap into Giratina Altered. So this now is a very dicey game. I have to utilize Escavalier in order to take out both Cresselia and Giratina Altered now. So we're going to come in with the Chestnaught and do as much Smackdown damage as we can. right here, and hopefully get this Giratina altered low while forcing all the energy from them. So they're just going to keep spamming Dragon Claws. I'm not too concerned just yet. I want to try to get to this energy ball right here, as if I can land this, that is some much needed damage in this matchup. But things are going to get pretty close. They shield the energy ball, so things now are getting dicey. We get a bit of lag as well. Switch clock is coming back up, so I actually think I need to save Chestnaught here. Well, I decided not to shield right there. I'm going to go for the superpower instead, and then swap and save the Chestnaught for a potential sack swap late game. So we throw the superpower, they don't shield it. I'm going to swap into Escavalier now and do my best to counter down. I will have to give up a shield here, and this is going to become a very, very close end game. Again, notice that I kept Chestnaught alive. We're going to go straight for the Mega Horn right here. I don't know if they know I have access to this, because this does an incredible amount of damage and gets no shielded, so that is perfect. And this now is going to be a dicey game. If they go for Moonblast, it's over. But if they go for Grass Knots, which they are, I can actually survive one of these because of our typing. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Drill Run now. Force that final shield from the Cresselia. And then this is going to become a very close game. Switch clock is almost up, but they do get to the charge move in time. If this is Grass Knot, we survive. And it is, so we barely survive right there. We should be able to get to a Drill Run now. And remember, we kept Chestnaught alive for a reason. The smackdown damage is going to be needed. We're going to swap right away into Chestnaught versus Giratina Altered, and the smackdown does enough damage to take it out. So that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Okay. Moving to the next one, we got Poliwrath versus Talonflame this time. Okay, so we got Talonflame now on the lead. Scald, obviously, going to do an incredible job for us in this lead matchup. We do have to be concerned about Brave Bird, as you guys know. I do not want to boom myself, but Scald does land there for super effective damage. So things are looking good. We're going to go ahead and shield right here. I don't want to get hit with the Brave Bird, but we're going to swap into Chestnaught. It was a Flame Charge. We're going to swap into Chestnaught because they're locked into the attack animation, and we smack down the Talonflame right there, and they bring in a Wall Rain. So this is looking beautiful. We're going to go ahead and go for the superpower now to just do as much damage as we can, because they'll likely get to the Icicle Spear very quickly. We get a shield as well, and they're going to go ahead and throw the charge move. So we're going to let this go because of our grass typing, right? This is going to one-shot us. Boom! Chestnaught goes down, but now we can bring in the Poliwrath versus the Wall Rain. And we have a bit of extra energy here as well. So we can go ahead and overload quite a bit, and I'm going to throw the Dynamic Punch now well before they get to an Earthquake, but I didn't want to play any games with potentially getting hit by one. So boom! Wall Rain goes down, and the final Pokemon is going to be Galarian Stunfisk. So this is going to be a good battle. We still have Escavalier in the back, and Poliwrath as well is a great counter to it. So we're just going to go ahead and swap and just counter the Galarian Stunfisk down. So that's what's so cool about Chestnaught, is the Talonflame Fast Move Incinerate takes so long in its cycle that you can actually get like 2 smackdowns through and completely take it out, just like we did. So we're going to go ahead and shield the Rock Slide, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. But this team, man, really, really fun sets today. Okay, moving to the next one, we got Poliwrath versus Walrein now. Very positive lead matchup for us. We'll have to see how they decide to adjust. But we're just going to try to go for that Dynamic Punch right away, do as much damage as we can. And again, be kind of concerned about the Earthquake, but it's not the end of the world if it lands. Now, they decide to swap into Talonflame, so we're going to go ahead and go into the Chestnaught right away. This was kind of a mistake on my end because they were able to get one fast move ahead, which makes a big difference. Like you guys saw in the previous battles with Chestnaught, I was able to completely farm down by just giving up one shield because they were energy behind basically. Now they're energy ahead, and this is not good. I had to give up 2 shields right there. Plus, I could have stayed in with Poliwrath and thrown Scalds, right? That's okay. We're going to do our best to recover right here. We're going to go ahead and throw that superpower, looking to get the first shield in the game from our opponent, and they let it go. Okay. Oh no. Last Pokemon is a Typhlosion. This is not good. It has 2 shields, and it is loading up on energy. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Poliwrath. As you guys know, I'm unshielded. Typhlosion has access to Solar Beam. I believe it is 4 incinerates in order to throw the solar beam. So we're going to have to catch it. There's 4. And we're going to go ahead and swap into Escavalier to catch the solar beam. Hopefully it is solar beam. It was the solar beam, so that still does an incredible amount of damage, but they can now farm us down. They have 2 incinerate, so it's going to take 2 more in order to take us down. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Scald, but I did it at the wrong time, which means they did get the final incinerate through, and they over-tapped as well, and I almost got to that Scald right there. So if I had timed my fast moves better, we could have won that. Boom! They one-shot me. And that's a good battle. Very well played. I loved that battle. Even though I lost, it was so much fun. Okay, moving to the next one, we got Swampert now on the lead. Somewhat of a neutral matchup right here, but Dynamic Punch is really nice in this matchup because of how much damage it can do. And they're going to have to land an Earthquake twice, really, in order to take me out. So first Dynamic Punch gets a shield. I'm like, okay, I'll swap into Chestnaught here and catch the charge move because Earthquake and Hydro Cannon are resisted because of our grass typing. And sure enough, it was the Earthquake. Beautiful catch there. And they decide now to swap into a Alolan Muck. This is a Poison Jab Alolan Muck as well, which is unfortunate because it is able to farm us down. So they're going to have quite a bit of energy on the back end right here. But thankfully, Superpower as well can hit back pretty hard. And they won't have as much because we debuffed ourselves. So we're going to go ahead and come in with Escavalier now, as we will be resisting the fast moves. And I do think they're actually going to throw an acid right away. So, or acid spray. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, so it was an acid spray. We're going to go ahead and counter down. Now, I don't want to get hit with a Dark Pulse. So, I think this is still a bit quick, but I decided to shield anyways, and it was the acid spray. So that's unfortunate, but we did take the safer route there as we do have a lot of energy now. They decided to bring in the Swampert right here, so we're going to have to throw the Drill Run and then look to swap into Poliwrath because we are debuffed. So we're going to go ahead and swap, and let's see what that final Pokemon is going to be. It's going to be Giratina Altered. So this is still a tough uphill battle. But Escavalier, I think, can do it. As long as there's no Fire-type Pokemon, right? Typhlosion or Talonflame, like we've seen in today's sets. Escavalier can really finesse a lot of these teams like you guys have seen so far. So they decided to go for a Shadow Sneak right there, which I thought was really interesting. I thought they would be going for Dragon Claws. But that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and keep going for Scalds, try to get the debuff, and we do get the attack debuff right there, which is beautiful. And this damage is really starting to chip away. That's the whole point right here with these Scalds. I know I could have Ice Punch potentially, but we're trying our best. You guys can see me. I'm spamming trying to swap into Escavalier right there. So we're going to go ahead and no-shield the Shadow Sneak. I swap right away, and we do get into the matchup now versus Swampert. Now, Hydro Cannon isn't going to be enough to take us out, but we're going to have to give up a shield. I'm hoping Drill Run right here does enough damage because I think right here, based on the damage I know it could potentially do, I think I can survive. It's going to survive Drill Run, but I think I can survive the next Hydro Cannon while fully farming down with counter to have another Drill Run for Giratina Altered in the back. So this is going to be very close. We survived the Hydro Cannon, and we can farm down with counter. Sure enough, my estimation was correct, and we are able to get to the Drill Run in time to take out Giratina Altered. So again, Escavalier finessing these kind of neutral matchups with shields and energy. It's an awesome Pokemon to use. Good game. Okay, moving to the next one, we got Poliwrath versus Ho-Oh. So obviously a very good matchup for us. They're going to decide to swap into Cresselia right away, so we're going to come in with that Escavalier and just really put a lot of pressure with our Mega Horn. Now, as you guys saw in previous battles, right, the Grass Knot doesn't do too much. Moonblast is the move we got to be worried about, and hopefully there's no debuff as well, because that would be the most unfortunate thing for this matchup. But we're going to throw that Mega Horn right away, just get as much damage out onto the field as we can, and we land it. So now we can just go for Drill Runs. We don't really need to be concerned. We're in the driver's seat now for this battle. And honestly, it doesn't matter if we have Chesnaught or Poliwrath versus the Ho-Oh, because it's Poliwrath with Scald or Chesnaught with Smackdown. So we're just going to go ahead and throw the Drill Run, get the Cresselia out of there. I fully expect Ho-Oh to come in and farm us down. One Incinerate might be able to do, but I think I'm going to swap right away into Chestnaught, and I do. I swap right away into Chestnaught, and they swap into Melmetal. So Poliwrath actually looking incredibly strong against this team. And we're just going to go ahead and no shield right here. If this is Superpower, which it's not. It's going to be Rock Slide. It is resisted. We're just going to build up and just do as much damage as we can. Now, like I said before, because we've seen Smackdown versus Talonflame, I figured it was about the same amount of damage against Ho-Oh, which is why I was okay to swap that out so quickly, because I didn't want to get farmed down. I'm in Poliwrath, and we land the superpower right there as well. Sorry, I forgot to boom, but that's okay. Superpower as well is not enough to take us out. They're going to have to throw the double superpower here or the Rock Slide in order to finish us off. And then now we can come in with Poliwrath and close this game out because we do have Scald. So that's going to be a good battle, very well played to my opponent. I'm just going to go ahead and throw Scald now, but they throw the charge move, and this is actually going to be Brave Bird, which means I'm definitely going to be one-shotting. And because of the energy gain that we have on Mudshot, there's really no way they can win this one. So they still have 2 shields up, but I think they know it's a good game. So boom! Good game, very well played. But my team really had a handle on theirs. And that was the final battle. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Chestnaught with Smackdown was so satisfying to use against those Talonflames. And this team was very unconventional, but was able to finesse my way through some of these battles and come out with some great wins. So, like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.